Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our last guest is a singer and producer who blends contemporary alternative R&B with older soul sounds, with influences from artists such as Frank Ocean and SZA, Tamari Gaye and Teddy Pendergrass. His music has been praised for its honest and relatable lyrics, soulful vocals, and catchy melodies. Everyone joining us to share more, we welcome singer and producer Ben Kelly. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. This is going to be an interesting discussion.
I'm ready, let's do it.
Yeah. So, you're quite the bright figure, right? Meaning, you're like walking sunshine. So I was sitting here as I was going through your background, and I'm looking at your environment, and so you actually surround yourself with very melanated individuals. You know what I'm saying? And you stand out, right? But it's so clear that you're at home.
I agree with that. I think that's a good read on it. I think it's like not intentional, honestly. Like just coming up in the music scene here, I met most of my artist friends, at open mics and things like that, and they welcomed me, I welcomed them right back, and they're all really talented. That's the one thing about artists in New York. I feel like the talent level is just really, really high, and some of my artist friends are just they do things that I do things that they can't do, right? Like I sing and everything. But some of my rapper friends, like they can freestyle for hours and hours, and it's just, they inspire me. I hope I inspire them.
Right.
But they definitely inspire me. And I don't know. I just think the community here is so welcoming. And that's something that I've also heard from other artists here in New York, that in New York, it doesn't have obviously it's not Hollywood, because that's literally in LA, but also people are much more welcoming, and I think everyone just wants to see each other win. So,
right. It's
which
almost
is really
like
great.
soul to soul. That's really what I was alluding to.
Yes.
It's soul to soul. Because I'm looking at you and I'm saying, oh, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, no, I get it, 100%.
But it's dope, though, because guess what? We need a lot more of that, right? So I felt like it was important for us to open up with that discussion, because it doesn't matter. Is really what I'm trying to say. It really doesn't matter. What matters is how we build together, how we are enhancing each other, how we're crafting together, right? As you mentioned, your artist friends can do certain things that you can't, but when you come together, you complement each other.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think, just the solidarity together in terms of, we're making each other better. We're collaborating. I really love that about the scene here and the people that I've found. So I totally agree.
So what's different from being in Connecticut, where you originate from?
Yes,
I tell you, I did my homework. And where you're at now that you're officially a New Yorker.
Right.
I mean, Connecticut, we love you, but it ain't the same thing. It ain't the same culture.
It's true. No, it isn't. And for the record, I'm from the New York part of Connecticut.
Okay.
I'm from an hour outside of the city. But yes, no, it is totally.
I get it.
It's totally different. It's totally different. I think just. People always talk about New Yorkers being, harsh isn't the right word, but honest, but maybe sometimes they can rub people the wrong way. You sort of compare to, like, in the South, people are very manners and everything like that.
Right.
And I do think it's true in that people in New York are really authentic and really they are themselves. And if you are yourself, they will love you and accept you for it. And I think that's what I've found so far, being here and being in the music scene. If you are yourself, like, people can, I think especially New Yorkers can spot a phony, like, they can spot someone who's faking it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be aggressive or anything.
Exactly.
It's about holding your ground and understanding that you're coming from an authentic place. Now, we got to clarify this whole New York version of the New York part of Connecticut. I'm like, go ahead. Tell me about that.
Yes.
The New York part of Connecticut.
The New York part of Connecticut. I mean, it's Fairfield County. You know,
Okay.
it's the part that, because everybody in New England says that that's not part of New England, and everybody in New York is, you know, has their opinion about it too. But it's fine.
How fascinating. See, you just taught me something new. I'm like, oh my
Exactly,
gosh.
exactly.
Making claims over there, right?
Right.
You belong over here, you belong over there, and that's what.
You know, I straddle the line. I take some from both, I feel like. But
Yeah,
again, that's about the authenticity piece, being yourself.
And so how much of that feeds your music? Because again, you're straddling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that when I started making music, because I grew up singing and everything like that, and then after I went to college and I graduated, and I was like, all right, we're done with that, or just got time to enter the real world, so to speak. And I was sort of like, I realized that I missed it so much, and when I first started making music again, I was like, I'm going to make the music that I like. I'm going to do it in a way that's authentic to me. I don't want to do anything fake with it. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to conform to what is selling.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Because that's what would happen if you were like signed with like a commercial agency.
Right.
We know,
right.
we get it. We love independent artists here, darling. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Speak your truth, because we're that's what we're here for, right? To support each other and understanding that art is art. It's if it gets a hit, beautiful, but we don't create it for that reason.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of problems with social media and streaming, and specifically with music, but also just in general. But one of the good things is that I think there is more space to be authentic, and that you can create music that you like, and you can find people who also like it. So I think there's less pressure, especially when you're an independent artist. There's less pressure to, like you said, conform to whatever the current trend is.
Right.
And that's something that, at least to myself, I really try to hold myself to, that I don't want to jump on some trend unless it's a trend that I really like, and I'm inspired by it, and I can put my own spin on it, whatever. But I don't want to sacrifice authenticity and what I don't want to be out there making music that I don't want to make music that I don't like. That's not any fun. So exactly.
Right. Where's the fulfillment in that?
Exactly.
I get it. That's why I love what I do here, because it's a platform that is serving the underrepresented, right? And so, I mean, not to say that you're underrepresented, but there's something to be said when we're just not following that trend and just kind of paving our own way for the sake of designing and creating, right? And so with that being said, I understand you're writing your own stuff, you're producing your own stuff, like that's extra work. So let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot of extra work, but I think also I do really like that I feel like what I put out is all me. I made the beat, I recorded it, I wrote the lyrics, I mixed it, I mastered it, and maybe it's not as perfect as when you have a massive team of 100 people doing it. But I really love that my work and my art is me, and I design my art for it, like the cover art. I edit my own videos, everything like that. And I really love that about where I'm at right now. Like, yes, it would be great to have a team that's helping me with some of that stuff, and hopefully eventually, I can incorporate some other people helping me with my stuff. But I love that it's my art, and that makes it so much more meaningful when people like it. I'm like, this is something that I created. This is all me.
From soup to nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how many do you have in the can?
Songs?
Yeah.
I gotta count. I try to put out like
that's already been produced.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got to be at this point upwards of 20 songs.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I have a pretty big catalog at this point, because I try to put out about a song a month. I've definitely slowed down a little bit, and I need to.
Why was that so important to you to do a song a month?
I think it's just, also just personally, as someone, everyone who makes music also loves music.
Right.
And
was that a tactic to hold yourself accountable for just making sure you birth it?
Yes, that, and then also Well, I think also just, when I find an artist that I like, if they don't have a lot of songs, it's kind of, it's disappointing. And it's sort of like, oh, I wish I had more that I could listen to. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of songs out there. That, and also I would say out of, the process of making music, I love writing songs. That's like my favorite part of it, and producing the beat and writing songs. I think finishing them, recording them, doing the mixing and mastering, that usually is what slows me down. So I'm just like writing songs all the time. So I have so many songs. So I'm like, I want to put them out. So that plays into it too. But also, yeah, just I want to be putting new stuff out. I live in these songs, right? Like by the time I put a song out, I've listened to it so many times over and over again, tweaking it, making sure that it's where I want it to be.
Because I was here when you were doing your sound check, which you guys are going to experience it after this interview. What really resonated with me in listening to your lyrics is like, wow, he's got a time capsule, right? And I'm saying a time capsule based on the language that you're using.
You mean like the fact that it is contemporary and yes.
That it's relevant to today,
yes.
Because God knows what language you're going to be using in another year or now.
That's true.
Especially
true.
when it comes to like the technology, it's just moving so rapidly,
right.
And then there's the acronyms that go with it. And so you wrote the song, which again, you guys are going to hear afterwards, and all that not all, but just like what really resonated with me, I would say, is like, wow, I wonder if he realizes that he has like a historical piece right there.
That's true. You're right. No. I have not thought about that specifically. I think, my approach to writing specifically lyrics is I try to write the way that I talk. I try to use the words that I would use in my normal day-to-day life. Obviously, there's some artists, you try to make it creative, flowery, whatever, however you want to put it. But yeah, I just try to make it relatable to my own experience and my life. In the song specifically, DMs, everybody's in everyone's DMs now. I'm on my phone all the time. It's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a problem for everybody.
Yeah,
but
it is.
yeah.
But
So
it starts with at least recognizing that
Right.
that you're on overdrive.
yes.
With it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But by the same token, who knows how long that's going to last?
True. And I guess, I think there's and maybe in that way it's sort of part of a great tradition musically. Like, there are some classic songs that, don't apply anymore. Like one of there's I think it's New Edition, Mr. Telephone Man. Like that song, Mr. Operator, like nobody, I don't think I've ever called an operator.
Right.
So in that way, it's cool to me that I have a song now. I guess, yeah, you're right. That is sort of, it's a place in time. And maybe, yeah, in 10, 15 years, people will be like, what's a DM?
Right, exactly. So. And we are so excited that you brought it here to us here on Open.
Of course.
And thank you for sharing your process with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys, Ben Kelly, don't go anywhere because Ben Kelly is going to perform for us. He's going to perform DMs, right?
Yes.
DMs.
DMs.
You know, the DM?
Exactly.
After the breaking, you don't want to miss that. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open, here now to perform DMs. Let's give it up for Ben Kelly.
I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I know you've been going crazy, fed up with these thirsty lonelies. Baby, you could be my only. Satisfied until the morning. God, for you I too romantic. You ain't got the time for situationship. Tell them that your heart's under new management, and I'm the board president. Whoa, whoa, I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. Instead, I know you got options, but I'm trying to lock in. Flying to the top, and I need you in my cockpit. I'm saying that I can love you better than all the boys in your DM. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. 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 Instead.
I'm giggling because, like I said, Ben Kelly, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm so giggly because it's like, oh, I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. And it definitely rents space, right?
Yes.
And like I said, it's definitely relevant
Yes.
of our times. Ben Kelly, once again, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Woo! Once again, for more information, you can follow him on Instagram at Ben Kelly Sound. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through. To you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rena Valentin. And from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios.